Hong Kong, a city where past and future intertwine, and both Chinese and colonial roots are felt in all its citizens. At the very heart of Hong Kong's identity is cinema, which tells stories of the city, its search for identity, and longing. Hong Kong cinema has been blended between the East and the West, largely thanks to its colonial past under British rule from 1841 to 1997. The development of a successful and multifaceted film industry coincided with this rule and allowed for Hong Kong cinema to become an authentic mode of expression for the city's citizens. The golden age of Hong Kong cinema allowed the city's film industry to thrive and become world-renowned as East Hollywood. During the late 1970s, Hong Kong cinema was injected with young directors and filmmakers that allowed the industry to develop innovative visual styles and more personal means of expression. Anne Hui, Wong Kar-wai, Stanley Kwan, and Max Dong-hung were amongst this new wave of filmmakers that explored an alternative range of genres, themes, and values. A dynamic combination of economic success, political stability, and international influence allowed for Hong Kong cinema to thrive and pave the way for not only a new decade, but a new era in the 1980s. The Hong Kong New Wave was a time of unlimited possibilities. Creative freedom was encouraged by government due to a lack of film regulation, and the city's status as a British colony enabled access to Western film stock and equipment. Major film companies such as Golden Harvest, Shaw Brothers, and Cinema City led to the becoming of household names such as Jackie Chan and Bruce Lee. This swiftly took Hong Kong cinema to Hollywood, thanks to the popular genre of Kung Fu. This international influence also benefited localized industry, leading to the creation of localized genres such as heroic bloodshed, action films, and mo-tai-ao comedies. 1983 action comedy Project A is an example of the successful blend between Eastern martial arts and Western silent film comedy. This combination of action and comedy soon became a delineating aspect of 1980s Hong Kong cinema, setting the industry up for much commercial success and therefore opening the door for creative opportunities that would permit further success and expansion. Fast-paced action sequences in Project A show protagonist Jackie Chan fight off enemies. As shown in the bicycle chase scene, Chan uses comedic movements and facial expressions alongside innovative martial arts choreography. Contrast to traditional weapons common to Hollywood films, Chan uses his surroundings. This creativity in using everyday objects as weapons is one of the many examples of the ingenuity that distinguished Hong Kong cinema as innovative and modern in the 80s. The confirmation of handover date as 1st of July 1997 and 1984 undoubtedly had an impact on Hong Kong cinema and sparked concerns for the industry's current unique and innovative path. The looming event prompted filmmakers to thoroughly explore and focus on themes such as migration, loss of freedom, and identity. In the face of this uncharted future, a fight for cultural identity slowly made its way into the expression of Hong Kong cinema. As the city looked towards the coming of 1997, an overwhelming wave of nostalgia was awakened, and filmmakers began to use this concept of time to explore strong emotions felt by Hong Kong citizens. Cinema increasingly became a mirror for the people of Hong Kong, as well as a popular vessel in Hong Kong's cultural identity. This led to the significant way in which the cultural identities of audiences were utilized in filmic narratives were enabled through acknowledgement of a shared colonial past and future. This is demonstrated in many of John Woo's films in the late 80s and early 90s due to their subtle acknowledgement of the rapidly changing geopolitics in Hong Kong and uncertainty surrounding its 1997 takeover. By combining elaborate choreographed violence with much sentimentality, Wu transgressed the boundaries of action film genre prevalent in Hong Kong cinema through the strong exploration of themes such as loss, sadness, and melancholy. Although this was not understood by many Western audiences, they were the lure of many cult audiences in Hong Kong as they appealed to their strong emotional undercurrents towards the nearing handover. During the climactic gunfight that takes place at the end of the film, protagonists Ah Jong and Li Ying fight against overwhelming odds to defend their brotherhood and honor. Unfortunately ending in their mutual sacrifice, this bittersweet event intends a strong sense of loss in audience members through a powerful sense of melancholy. Here, an appreciation for traditional and heroic values subtly instills nostalgia in Hong Kong audiences, who are encouraged to appreciate a society in which this code of ethics is present and wonder how 1997 might impact these freedoms.
In the 90s, Hong Kong cinema influenced by post-New Wave directors like Wong Kar-wai showcasing nostalgic sentiment for past eras of Hong Kong. Nostalgia as a reflective cultural syndrome, detached from the present moment to offer critical of contemporary society through historical distance. Scholar Baum has noted that nostalgia is both for longing for the past and escape from the present. In Wong Kar-wai's film, this nostalgic sentiment fundamentally serves as an escape from the 1997 society, deeply influencing his cinematic aesthetics. His film also features long-linear timelines, historicized space, and object use as complex political metaphors. By exploring dimensions such as time, space, and object, we examine how nostalgia is intricately woven into Wong Kar-wai's film. Henry Bergson's concept of duration, as discussed in his discourse on intuitism, is manifested in Wong Kar-wai's film as psychological duration. Time here is not physical but psychological, becoming a state that extends the psychological experience of characters. It directly reflects the different states of existence in each era, as well as Wong Kar-wai's attitude toward emotions, memories, and history. In Days of Being Wild, the character Yudi approached Suijin at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, as indicated by the clock shown in the things. Each time he asks someone the time, it's invariably around 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
3:30. 3点.
A time typically associated with dryness, humid air, and a dreamlike state. Throughout the film, Yudi struggles to escape his forced mother and search for his birth mother as a way to forge his own identity. On one hand, Yudi exhibits anxiety over his identity, but on the other hand, he reverses his chaotic state. In The Mood for Love in the 1960s also exhibit this state of time. Wong Kar-wai elongates moments like the encounters between Su Li-jen and Cho Wan-wan on the staircase and their private meeting in the hotel room through prolonged shots. Like Yudi, the extended duration subtly implies that Su and Cho are immersed in this specific period of time. As they investigate their respective spouses' extramarital affairs, they themselves fall into an affair. The pretext of investigation temporarily shields them from ethical condemnation, allowing them to indulge and enjoy this chaotic state. On a deeper level, this chaotic state suggests that Hong Kong of the 1960s, while the desire and yearning to indulge in this state, reflect the sentiments of Hong Kongers in 1990s. The nostalgia for the 60s is actually an escape from 90s. Hong Kong's feel anxious about the imminent handover and the change it will bring. So Wong Kar-wai used time as cultural pathology to reflect Hong Kong's political predicament, whether it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon in Days of Being Wild, or elongate nighting in The Mood for Love. Indulging in the ambitious and chaotic time of 60s Hong Kong suggests that Hong Kong's failed cynicization that were anxious about losing their local culture and identity. By the 90s, the film like Chongqing Express, approaching handover day and the political anxiety it brings along with the alienation in personal relationships, evoke a strong sense of uneasy. The character attitude toward time shift from indulgency to urgency. Time is no longer ambitious and chaotic, but becomes a series of pressing deadlines. Materialized in the form of Kangoo expiring on May 10, the character 2-3 also show an inexplicable obsession with precise time, marking a transition in how time is perceived and interact with amidst the social political changes in Hong Kong. Further, Wong Kar-wai's nostalgic film showcases a historicized metaphor of space, a concept further illuminated by Henry Leverbo's theory in the production of space. Leverbo's differentiate between perceived space and conceived space. Wong Kar-wai used the material level of perceived space to metaphorically explore Hong Kong's political space in history. For example, in Days of Being Wild, space is fluid and transcendent, ranging from surrounding rainforest, cramped apartment in Hong Kong, to a hotel in Philippines, accumulating in the scene on the train. These settings are not just physical location, but reflect the transcendent sovereignty that Hong Kong experienced under a century of colonial rules. As the 1997 handover approached, this lack of sovereignty and the city's voiceless state in its future become more pronounced. Furthermore, Arthur points out that nostalgia is people trying to find their lost utopia. The vacuum of space reflects Wong Kar-wai's avoidance of colonial history and anxiety of 1997. In The Mood for Love, portrays space with a sense of vacuum, seeing the architecture style, the mahjong, the furniture arrangement is all given a Shanghai space. It depicts mainland immigrants from Shanghai trying to recreate a Shanghai utopia within Hong Kong to sustain their identity or sense of belonging. The vacuum in space mirrors Wong Kar-wai's evasion of colonial history and the anxiety surrounding the impending 1997 handover. Furthermore, according to Hami Baba's concept of third place, where Eastern and Western culture mingle in a colonial setting, creating a hybrid culture scenario. In Chongqing Express, Wong Kar-wai depicts Hong Kong as a restless, culturally mixed third place. His use of low frame rate shooting and step printing causes characters' movement to appear both fast and slow, further emphasizing the hybrid nature of space. This portrait reflects the influence of global culture in Hong Kong, diluting its local cultural identity and intensifying the dilution of its national cultural traits. Frank Fanon believed that cultural nationalism was essential for national consciousness, but this doesn't apply to Hong Kong. After the 80s, Hong Kong's culture significantly changed due to global influence, creating a unique local culture that wouldn't align with either British or mainland China. This lack of pre-colonial identity meant Hong Kong couldn't undergo traditional decolonization like any other countries or place. In Wong Kar-wai's film Days of Being Wild, Hong Kong's essential crisis is symbolized by a foolish bird, reflecting a deep sense of ruthlessness. Yudi, the main character, is portrayed as an orphan seeking his identity by finding his birth mother, paralleling Hong Kong's own search for the identity as he faces impending 1997 handover to China, which is called the political orphan. This period triggers severe identity anxiety among Hong Kongers, leading to a wave of immigration. The film intensified the theme through Yudi's quest, ending in rejection when he finally met his birth mom in Philippines, who refused to recognize him. The rejection emphasized the ongoing theme of disconnection and ruthlessness experienced by the people of Hong Kong. Wong Kar-wai's film, infused with theme of nostalgia and identity, reflect not only personal emotion but the broader mood of an era, illustrating the transition and melancholic nature of 90s Hong Kong.
我最大的不一样是因为我自己觉得，我想一想，我也不知道我怎样，我其实觉得之前哪些可能因为题材都比较类型化，就是譬如说你会看到很多类型化的电影，譬如说哪个时候最就是97之前有很多的，因为香港的电影其实很多都不是哪一种大制作，其实比如说功夫片啊、动作电影啊、爱情啊，或者是一些哪怕是一些哪个时候流行的武侠片啊、古装，都是比较就是你什么都可以的，就是没有很局限。
没有局限，
你想得出来，或者是喜剧也好，你想得出来都能，就是没有这么多 limitations 应该说。
啊，
回归之后可能有一些 limitations，就是可能因为之后有一些题材可能就不能太过，譬如说喜剧，或者是有局限到可能不要太，就是你考虑也要考虑，就是97之后慢慢就有合拍片，
合拍片，
然后如果有合拍片的话，可能你题材也会，首先你要注意到，就是你要顾内地观众的口味，或者是以前我们很多时候广东话的哪一种电影，可能我们合拍片，你也有要想到国内的观众可能对这个话题或者是有没有注意到这个也觉得跟整个 city
香港，
financially 或者是整个社会的地位，其实哪个时候是香港最booming的时候？比如说香港、新加坡、韩国所有，我们哪个时候有一段时间日本、香港也流行过日本潮流，哪个时候就是日本的一时候
啊，
就是刚刚回归，我自己没有很感觉哪个不一样，也因为我自己觉得在没回归之前，好的，
小一点。
Through our research, filmic analysis, and first-hand interview with Dora Ong, a distinct trend for nostalgic qualities in Hong Kong cinema can be seen consistently leading up to the 1997 handover. It is clear that nostalgia is a powerful narrative tool that allows filmmakers to address contemporary issues while connecting with audiences' emotional experiences of the past. The quote emphasizes that nostalgia isn't about returning to a clear-cut past, but is more about the emotions surrounding the past. Hong Kong filmmakers use nostalgia not just to reconstruct a historical reality, but to express the psychological and emotional landscapes of their characters and society at large.